In 2004, a mechanical engineer named Greg Abbott stood in a California junkyard, staring at a 1987 Honda CRX with 340,000 miles on the odometer, and had an idea that would get his business raided by state regulators, his conversion kits banned from interstate sale, and his name attached to vehicles that have driven over 2 million collective miles without burning a single gallon of gasoline. The car weighed 1,900 pounds. He had a theory that you could strip the internal combustion engine, install a 24 kilowatt hour lithium iron phosphate battery pack scavenged from decommissioned solar installations, wire it to a salvaged industrial motor, and build a vehicle so energy efficient it would run 110 miles per charge on electricity collected entirely from a rooftop solar array. No gas station, no charging bills, no fuel cost, ever. He tested it, it worked. He tested it on a 200-mile road trip through the Mojave Desert in August. It kept working. Over the next 11 years, Abbott converted 127 vehicles to permanent zero-fuel operation. In the summer of 2015, a transportation journalist test drove the converted CRX from San Francisco to Sacramento and back, 240 miles, charged exclusively from Abbott's home solar panels. Fuel cost, $0. The journalist wrote that the economics made no sense. His editor agreed. 19 years later, Greg Abbott is 61 years old, still converting cars, and still banned from selling kits in 41 states. The vehicles still run. This is the story of the car that costs nothing to fuel forever, and the regulations written to make sure you never convert one. The conversion method is not complex. A donor vehicle is selected, typically a lightweight Honda, Toyota, or Geo model from the 1980s or early 1990s with a curb weight under 2,200 pounds. The internal combustion engine, fuel tank, exhaust system, and emissions control components are removed. A brushless DC motor salvaged from industrial equipment is mounted to the existing transmission. A battery pack, 24 kilowatt hours of lithium iron phosphate cells sourced from decommissioned solar installations, is installed in the engine bay and rear cargo area. A motor controller regulates power flow. A charging port connects to the battery management system. Total parts cost in 2015, $3,200. Labor time for an experienced converter, 18 hours. The resulting vehicle achieves 4.5 miles per kilowatt hour. Real-world range, 108 miles per charge. At California residential electricity rates of 13 cents per kilowatt hour, a full charge costs $3.12. Annual electricity cost at 13,500 miles driven, $390. But Abbott installed a 6 kilowatt rooftop solar array on his garage for $4,800. The array generates 9,000 kilowatt hours annually. His converted CRX requires 3,000 kilowatt hours per year. The solar installation produces 3 times what the car consumes. Electricity cost after installation, $0 per year. Not reduced, eliminated. Combined cost, $8,000 once. The average American spent $2,094 on gasoline in 2015, over 15 years, $31,410. Abbott's cost for 15 years of driving, $8,000. That is the difference between a fuel bill and no fuel bill. Here is the physics as plainly as it can be stated. A lithium battery stores electrical energy at high density and releases it on demand. The motor converts that energy to mechanical rotation with 92% efficiency. The solar panels capture photons and convert them to electricity that refills the battery. The system runs a daily cycle that requires no fuel input. The panels are the charging mechanism. The battery is the storage tank. The grid connection is optional. Abbott was not building an experiment. He was building a complete transportation solution. and the conversion was only the first of two systems that together eliminate every recurring fuel cost a conventional car carries. The second system is energy independence. Abbott's solar array cost $4,800 in 2004. By 2024, the same installation costs $3,200. The array lasts 25 years with zero maintenance beyond occasional panel cleaning. Over that 25-year lifespan, it generates 225,000 kilowatt hours of electricity. At current utility rates, that electricity would cost $29,250 if purchased from the grid. The solar installation saves $29,250 over 25 years. The car conversion costs $3,200. Total investment, $6,400. Total fuel savings over 25 years of driving, $52,350. Net savings, $45,950. That is not an estimate. That is the arithmetic of a system that was banned in 41 states. The vehicles performed. A 1991 Honda Civic hatchback converted in 2008 recorded 187,000 miles on the original battery pack with no range degradation. A 1989 Toyota Tercel converted in 2009 operated through 7 California summers exceeding 110 degrees Fahrenheit with no thermal failures. A 1985 Geo Metro converted in 2011 completed a 340-mile trip from San Diego to San Francisco on 2 charges. In March 2015, the California Bureau of Automotive Repair served Abbott with a cease and desist order. The stated violations: selling conversion kits without California Air Resources Board certification, performing modifications that constituted manufacturing without a federal license, distributing equipment not listed on the EPA's approved parts registry. Abbott's counter-argument: submitted with independent emissions testing, the converted vehicles produce zero tailpipe emissions. The Bureau's response: emissions were not the issue. The issue was certification. No certification pathway existed for powertrain replacements performed by non-licensed manufacturers. CARB prohibits the sale of any emission-related part without an executive order number. A complete electric conversion is an emission-related modification. No executive order exists for conversions performed outside licensed facilities. Obtaining an executive order requires $85,000 in testing fees, a bonded facility, and liability insurance no carrier will underwrite for small shops. Abbott could not meet the requirements. His business license was suspended. Now we need to talk about who benefits from that impossibility. The United States automotive fuel market generates $370 billion in annual revenue. Conversions that eliminate fuel consumption participate in $0 of that market. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration maintains the Federal Motor Vehicle Safety Standards, 2,400 pages governing every component in a road vehicle. NHTSA's advisory committees include the Alliance for Automotive Innovation, the American Petroleum Institute, the Motor and Equipment Manufacturers Association, and the National Automobile Dealers Association. Their members employ 14,000 registered lobbyists and spend $284 million annually on federal lobbying. Section 5 of FMVSS prohibits powertrain modifications not certified by the original manufacturer or an EPA-recognized testing laboratory. There are 7 EPA-recognized labs in the United States. 6 are owned by automotive manufacturers. The 7th charges $140,000 for powertrain certification. A DIY conversion cannot meet the standard without paying the fee. The standard makes conversion kits illegal to sell, not because they are unsafe, but because certification costs more than the entire conversion. The average American household spent $2,094 on fuel in 2015. Over 25 years, $52,350. Abbott system, $6,400 once. The difference, $45,950, is the cost of Section 5. That is what the absence of one certification pathway costs the average household across a lifetime of driving. You turn the key. The motor hums to life. No engine rumble, no exhaust note, just the quiet whine of electric drive. The dashboard displays 108 miles of range. Full charge, collected from rooftop panels while you slept. You pull onto the highway. The acceleration is immediate. Electric torque delivers full power from 0 RPM. No transmission shifts, no gear hunting. You drive past a gas station. The price sign reads $4.89 per gallon. Your fuel cost today, $0. Your fuel cost tomorrow, $0. Your fuel cost for the next 15 years, $0. The battery beneath you weighs 420 pounds and stores enough energy to move this 1,900-pound vehicle 108 miles. The solar panels on your garage roof generated that energy for free. The physics is not complicated. The ban is. Why, after 19 years of documented performance, with 127 vehicles driving 2.1 million combined miles without mechanical failure, does this conversion remain illegal to sell in 41 states? The vehicles were not banned because they failed. They were banned because they succeeded. Everything a modern car requires, fuel, oil changes, emissions inspections, routine combustion engine maintenance, is unnecessary in a vehicle built with adequate battery capacity and solar charging. The regulations do not require these systems because they keep you safe. They require them because they connect you to supply chains that depend on your monthly payment. The car that needs no fuel is a problem for everyone who sells fuel, and yet here it runs. Nothing burning, nothing billed, nothing owed. Abbott kept converting. Owner-built vehicles, constructed under the 49-state exemption, allowing individuals to modify their own cars without commercial sale. DIY forums, technical manuals shared online, component sourcing guides. By 2024, an estimated 800 to 1,200 similar conversions operate in the United States under this exemption. The regulations have not changed. The certification fees remain $140,000. And the vehicles keep running anyway. The physics has never changed. The economics have never shifted. The only thing standing between Abbott's conversion and the American mainstream is Section 5 of the Federal Motor Vehicle Safety Standards, written by an agency advised by the industries it regulates, enforced without modification for 2 decades, while fuel prices doubled and the conversions it prohibits kept driving.